Hi guys, here with your history for today. We're going to be looking at recreating a scene from the Bayeux Tapestry today. So a bit of history about the tapestry itself. The Bayeux Tapestry is nearly 70 meters long and 50 centimeters high. It is embroidered cloth which shows the events leading up to the Battle of Hastings and the invasion by William, Duke of Normandy. Similar to what we did yesterday, we had the timeline in our live session. We discussed what happened. We had the death of Edward the Confessor, the Wiccan deciding who was going to be next and appointing Harold Godwinson as the king. This then annoyed Harold Hardrada, the Viking king, and William, Duke of Normandy. And they invaded in Britain later in the year. Harold came first, and the army of King Harold was marched up to meet the Viking army. They fought at Stamford Bridge. I told you the story of the berserker on the bridge holding back the British army, letting the Viking army get ready to defend themselves. The long march from Stamford Bridge back down to Battle in West Sussex, where they fought again with a different enemy this time. But they'd all come down in such a rush, they'd left the archers behind, and the archers weren't able to help the fight. And unfortunately, King Harold died on the battlefield. Rumour has it he had an arrow in his eye. And following that, William, Duke of Normandy, became King William the Conqueror. And that's what this tapestry is here to commemorate. So the tapestry is annotated in Latin, and it's exhibited in a special museum in Bayeux, Normandy, called the Musée de la Tapissière de Bayeux. If you translate it from French to English, it's the tapestry, the Bayeux Tapestry Museum. And the language Latin was still widely used. It was the language of the church, don't forget. So this is one of the hangovers from the Romans. And it was a way of people being not able to access certain things because Latin was only taught in certain places. And you had to be quite well off to access education. So the common man would have been able to look at the pictures and see there's a king in this picture. They wouldn't be able to read any of the writing around it, but they'd be able to follow the story from the images that were stitched into this tapestry. The extra detail would come in the writing. The tapestry is regarded as one of the greatest examples of Anglo-Saxon art because, though ordered by William, it was made by Anglo-Saxon craftsmen and women. It's also an extremely important historical document. The start of the tapestry, we can see King Edward on his throne just prior to his death. The Latin word rex means king. I'll just show you just here where it says where the red dot is, rex there. So Edward Rex. It's telling us this is the king. So this is the very first scene on the tapestry. The borders of the tapestry often contain scenes of animals, agriculture, or other countryside images. So we have a border down the top and bottom. Though one border image is believed to show Halley's Comet or Halley's Comet, which passes Earth every 75 years. Now, I've seen Halley's Comet very briefly when I was about 11, maybe 10. So it's not due round for another 40-ish years. So you'll see it again in your lifetime. You'll probably be in your 50s, but you'll see Halley's Comet, which will pass the Earth again. Here we can see the coronation of Harold Godwinson following the death of Edward. So as we're walking along the tapestry, so if we think the tapestry, if we're stood facing it, the left-hand side is where it all begins. So we need to imagine we're walking along the tapestry following the story. Harold Godwinson is crowned king. And we can move on to the next. Word reaches William that Harold has taken the throne. He orders the construction of 700 ships to carry his army across the Channel to England. You've got images here of the boats being cut, carved, and fitted together, made ready to go to sea, to sail across the Channel, and for William to stake his claim to be King of England. Here we've got the tapestry showing a scene from the Battle of Hastings. So on the right hand side of the image, you've got the mounted Norman cavalry, the horsemen with long spears and swords fighting into the shield wall of the Harold's army. And you can see the shield wall here with the shields locked together to form almost like a armor plating, similar to a turtle shell, to stop the weapons coming through and causing damage to the men behind them. Here we see the famous scene that I couldn't find a clear image of for our live session. Harold Godwinson. It shows an arrow through the eye, though there is rumor that the historians don't think this is actually how he died. If you look here, you've got Harold Rex written above him. So that's how we know this is the king and him falling in battle. A massive piece of the work. The tapestry contains hundreds of individual animals and characters. And I'm going to give you some statistics here. And you think these have all been stitched by hand. So people have spent hours sewing the individual details into this tapestry. 626 characters, whether they're kings or army people or carpenters making the boats, whether they're horses, there's 174 of those, 55 dogs. It also has 37 ships, 49 trees, and 37 buildings. There's a lot of work has gone into this. So your task for today. So you're going to imagine the Bayeux Tapestry was drawn rather than embroidered. Choose an event from the time and draw a scene in this style of the Bayeux Tapestry. For a wonderful animated version of the Bayeux Tapestry created by the Potion Project, check out the link down below in the description. So have a look at the way these are drawn. The armour is a series of rings to show chainmail. The shields are almost diamond shaped. They're not necessarily perfect pictures of people. So don't get too hung up on how they look. So long as your characters are all consistent, they all look the same, you're doing well. So think of the events that we've talked about. You might decide to do Stamford Bridge and create an additional scene that you feel should be in there. You could have the idea of the berserker stood on the bridge, swinging his axe, holding an entire army back. You could have the coronation, the crowning of King Edward, not King Edward, King Harold, who followed King Edward. You could have a funeral for King Edward. There's lots of interesting points and parts to this. So have a look at the video first, so the link in the description. Have a watch of it first, see what it gives you some ideas for, and then have a go yourself. Make sure you load your work up onto Tapestry once it's done. I'd love to see your artwork. It'll give me something to look at over half term. So take care of yourselves, stay safe, and as always, we'll see you again very soon.